Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu students. I am Sabir Hasnain, your science subject teacher from grade 8. In this video lecture, we will discuss about how we can make salt through different methods from chapter number 9, salts. If you remember, students, if you remember the previous video, in that video we discussed about oxides. Over there we discuss what are oxides, and later on we give the example of oxide like carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and after that we discuss the metal oxide, what are those metal oxides, and for example iron oxide, copper oxide, etc. But I told you our aim is to discuss about how what is the fourth method through which we can make a salt by using metal oxides and acid. Over there we learn one thing: whenever acid reacts with metal oxides, it gives us salt and water. And the example we discussed, in short we discussed, that was sulfuric acid reacts with copper oxides, it gives us copper sulfate and water. If you look at this example in detail, here 2 copper, this is a double displacement reaction actually. Copper is joined with the sulfate SO4, so it gives us copper sulfate. As I told you earlier in the previous lecture, I said whenever there would be SO4, that will be sulfate. Okay, when we name the salts, so if there would be SO4, we have sulfates, and if there will be chlorine at the end, we will have chloride. So here copper is attached with SO4, it makes copper sulfate, and here H2, 2 atoms of hydrogen combine with oxygen during the chemical reaction, and they give us water, H2, where 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen from copper oxide, so they make water during this chemical reaction. And similarly, if we look at on the left side of the second equation, HCl, which is hydrochloric acid, so 2 atoms of 2 HCl stands for 2 atoms of hydrogen are there, 2 atoms of chlorine are there, so CO, copper oxide, so 2 atoms of hydrogen join with 1 atom of oxygen, and it gives us water, 2 atoms of hydrogen and oxygen. And copper chloride, Cu, 1 atom of copper, and there are 2 atoms of chlorine are present, so it makes copper chloride. Again, I am using the word chloride. It means whenever we will use HCl at the end, whenever we name the metal, whenever we name the salts, though that salt will be copper chloride. Okay, now next let's try. There are basically 4 steps through which we can understand about the reaction between copper oxide and sulfuric acid. In first step, we add, look at the figure, we add the copper oxide with the sulfuric acid. Okay, and by adding them, let's provide a small amount of heat, okay, and just to get warm for the chemical reaction. In the step 2, when copper oxide dissolves, look at the figure, when copper oxide dissolves in the solution, and the solution of sulfuric acid, keep in mind, so that solution turns blue. When that solution turns blue, further add more copper oxide in the solution until there will be no copper oxide dissolved in that. It means whenever there will be no copper oxide dissolved in that, the solution will be completely neutralized. It means the behavior of acid will not remain be the acid. Okay, so when the color will be changed and no further dissolved copper oxide will be dissolved, then we will get a neutralized solution, and at the bottom we have excess copper oxide, and look at the figure, the color is changed and acid is neutralized in the figure. Now the third step, as I told you in the previous figure, we have an extra amount of copper oxide which was at the bottom of the solution. So through filtration process, we remove the extra copper oxide which has not reacted during the chemical reaction. So through filtration we removed the extra or the excess of copper oxide, and at the end we have a copper sulfate solution left behind after removing the copper oxide. And in the fourth and last step, definitely as I told you, we have two products. One is metal salt, which is copper sulfate, and the second one is water. So definitely water would be there after the chemical reaction. So after the filtrate is carefully heated. Why? Because to evaporate water over there, in the solution, when the water is evaporated, the solution over there will be the solution left in the form of blue crystals is actually copper sulfate solution. So all the water will be evaporated after the chemical reaction by providing heat. This is how we can make a metal salt by different steps. Now let's discuss the metal oxide, how metal oxide reacts with an acid. The atoms are rearranged, and in short, another word, what will happen to the atoms, okay, at atomic level, how they react. Look at the first example, copper oxide, which we discussed earlier. So look, Cu, there one atom of copper and one atom of oxygen, and sulfuric acid, H2, there are two blue atoms of hydrogen, S sulfur, at the center we have sulfur, and there are four oxygen atoms which are at the corner of sulfur. So on the product side we have copper sulfate, so it means SO4 will remain same. So S as it is, there are four atoms of oxygen along with the sulfur, and the copper from the copper oxide will attach with the SO4, and this two atoms of hydrogen are removed and they will be attached to the oxygen. This is how they react with each other. And the next one example, that is magnesium oxide. When magnesium oxide reacts with hydrochloric acid, they will give us magnesium chloride and water. I hope you can easily do this example by yourself as an homework. This is the end of the lecture in which we discuss how we can make metal salt by using acid and metal oxide. I wish good luck and stay blessed. I hope there would be no issue